Welcome everyone to this week's episode of OfferVault News. I'm your host, Eddie Grand. For all you affiliate networks and advertisers out there, we're currently offering a special promo on OfferVault News sponsorship. This is a great way to promote your company on a future episode of the news and get your business seen by thousands of weekly viewers. Special package rates are available for current OfferVault advertisers. Contact Josh at OfferVault.com for more details. In our main story this week, the CCPA may require Facebook to rethink its business model. But first, here's a rundown of the top headlines this week. This could be a massive pay-per-call game changer. Snapchat introduces swipe up to call ads. As many of you know, phone calls and texts are relied on by businesses of all sizes to source new clients and meet their marketing objectives. That's why Snapchat is introducing swipe up to call or swipe up to text in the US. Now available in the Snapchat Ads Manager, swipe up to call or text is a new ad format built to deliver more phone leads, conversions, and sales. In addition to being able to swipe up to a link or swiping up to download an app, Snapchatters can swipe up on an ad to directly call or text a business from their mobile phone. Snapchat claims this new ad capability will help advertisers meet their objectives and speed up the consumer's decision and purchase journey by giving them the option to call you or text your business immediately. Then, once they contact you, you'll have more control over the user experience by speaking with the consumer directly. Snapchat went on to explain, leveraging swipe up to call can be a cornerstone to power up sales from an always-on perspective or when you need that boost of leads for your business. This new ad product will allow automotive businesses to scale test drives and feed their leads funnel. Real estate companies will have another strong tool to increase the reach and prospect volume by getting consumers to immediately call their sales representative to book an apartment showing. Restaurants will be able to use swipe up to call to drive reservations and food orders. A telecom company will be able to connect with consumers and help them pick the right plan. So here's how you can start using this feature. First, create a campaign with Instant Create in Ads Manager and select calls and text as your advertising goal. Next, pick Call My Business or Text My Business and select a saved number or input a new one. To add a new number, you will need to verify it via call or text. Then you can design and upload your ad. If your business or campaigns are using a call center number, a toll-free number, or another special number, you can get it verified by going to Snapchat's Business Help Center. How many of the paper callers out there are going to start using new swipe up to call ad format? Will this have a lasting impact on the pay-per call industry? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. A new app allows consumers to sue robocallers for violating TCPA. As the war against robocallers wages on, people are starting to take matters into their own hands. On this show, we've recently covered new laws that will help combat robocalls, like the Traced Act, but the bite of these new regulations will take years to be felt. And that's, of course, not cutting it for people that want the robocalls to stop now. One company has taken advantage of that and created an app that allows consumers to sue robocallers for violating the Telephone Consumer Protection Act. The app is called Robo Revenge, and it's the offspring of Do Not Pay, a robot lawyer app that allows consumers to, in the company's own words, fight corporations, beat bureaucracy, find hidden money, and sue anyone. Joshua Browder, Do Not Pay's founder and CEO, told Motherboard that since big companies have failed to protect consumers from robocalls, consumers have to take matters into their own hands. Consumers have to protect themselves, Browder said. The only way the problem will end is if the robocallers start losing money every time they call someone. Here's how the app works. Step 1, the consumer is automatically added to the Federal Trade Commission's Do Not Call registry. Once that's been achieved, the consumer gets a virtual Do Not Pay burner credit card to use when the consumer receives robocalls. The burner credit card is a disposable digital credit card issued in Do Not Pay's name that's encrypted and masks the consumer's personal data. Using the robocaller's contact information, RoboRevenge then guides the consumer through the process of suing said robocaller. Under TCPA, consumers have the right to sue for up to $3,000 per call, much like small claims court. RoboRevenge does its part by generating court documents and demand letters to help consumers file their claim. Browder explains that lawyers are already making millions from suing robocallers, but the average person usually doesn't understand the laws tied to this kind of litigation and don't realize they actually have the power to take control of these situations. The app sounds like a simple and easy way to fight against robocallers, but here's the thing. The process of actually suing a robocaller is way more complicated than RoboRevenge makes it sound. There are a number of bureaucratic hoops a consumer has to jump through to get a settlement from a robocaller, and laws vary state to state. Some of the information required to make a case may also be more than the average user is willing to share. If you choose to sue a robocaller, you will be required to provide your address to them. On top of that, if you collect a substantial amount of money, more than $600, the telemarketer may need your social security number for purposes of issuing a Form 1099 if they agree to pay damages. And obviously, robocall scammers are the last people you want to be giving your personal information to. So is it really worth it to sue one using this RoboRevenge app? Let us know what you think in the comments section below. Online advertising and e-com under increased coronavirus pressure. Digital advertising and online retail are struggling to handle the logistical bottlenecks and product supply chain shortages caused by the coronavirus. As the virus spreads, the commercial impact could be just as far-reaching, causing profit warnings, store closures, and credit defaults among companies that rely heavily on China's vast consumption power. There are also some companies that are well positioned to benefit from the shifts in consumer behavior. When the outbreak began in China, it inadvertently created a boom for domestic e-commerce as shoppers were stuck at home buying more online than usual. Sales of fresh food on JD.com, which is partly owned by Chinese tech giant Tencent, jumped 215% to almost 15,000 tons during the 10-day period. The outbreak also triggered a spike in online sales of provisional supplies, including brands selling immune-boosting products. The surge in online orders has also put increased pressure on businesses to fulfill them. Executives from Procter & Gamble told shareholders last week that the coronavirus was putting pressure on their e-commerce business. As sales from stores that sell their products slide, many either closed or open for shorter periods of time, demand has shifted online, said the CPG company's chief financial officer, John Moeller, at a Consumer Analyst Group of New York event. Transport routes have been severely disrupted as a result of areas across China being quarantined. Also, staff employed at warehouses to fulfill orders have been unable to work or unable to get to work. The coronavirus has scared some advertisers from buying ads in parts of China, so there's less competition for advertisers still committed to running campaigns on platforms like WeChat. Several clients for digital agency Roast have elected to pause or significantly reduce online media spend in the impacted regions. automotive businesses have actually been able to jump on the opportunity. Mercedes-Benz is running a campaign on the WeChat app that lets people see a 360-degree interior view of its GLB SUV. Chinese automotive manufacturer Geely has recently launched a service that lets customers buy its cars online and get them delivered to their homes. The disruption has even taken its toll on China's most valuable company. Earlier this month, Alibaba CEO Daniel Gang told investors to expect a slump in sales from its core e-commerce business due to the coronavirus outbreak preventing its employees from being able to process and deliver orders. The coronavirus isn't the first time these sorts of disruptions have hit retailers and their customers. Long before this outbreak, the SARS virus in 2003 was a turning point for both Alibaba and Tencent. During that time, e-commerce was in its early stages, but as the outbreak left many Chinese suppliers with few brick-and-mortar stores to sell their goods, many turned to the online platforms that hadn't been forced to close. Is there more to come? What will be the lasting effects of the coronavirus on the e-commerce and online advertising industries? Let us know what you think by commenting below. For our main story this week, CCPA may require Facebook to rethink its business model. California's new Consumer Privacy Act is starting to cause a lot of headaches for Facebook. Jim Barkdahl, CEO of data classification company Titus, recently wrote an article for Security InfoWatch where he claimed that Facebook is taking aim at CCPA by brazenly arguing that data privacy isn't a priority. Specifically, there's the argument that its web tracker Pixel should be exempt from some of the more stringent CCPA protections around selling data, Barkdahl says. Facebook gives businesses free use of its Pixel code to track user interaction and, in turn, enables them to purchase ads based on the information they've collected via Pixel. Barkdahl contends that Facebook is trying to get around CCPA's regulations by citing an exemption that allows it to claim service provider status. Effectively, the company is attempting to establish a loophole in the CCPA by claiming to be a service provider that shares data with advertisers free of charge, which is necessary for the purposes of its business and thus should make Facebook exempt. Facebook's argument undercuts the company's numerous promises that it places great importance on keeping user data protected, Barkdahl insists. Pointing to the essence of CCPA and Europe's General Data Protection Regulation, Barkdahl says Facebook is doing nothing less than thumbing its nose at those laws. In response to Barkdahl's piece, Facebook countered that they offer self-serve tools that let people access, download, and delete information collected about them. The company also claims it delivers notices to California residents which provide clear information about the data Facebook collects, how they use it, how they process data, and how people can exercise their rights under the law. Facebook states that they're being fully compliant with the CCPA, but the source of this service provider issue comes down to how the sale of personal information and service provider are defined under CCPA. Personal information is defined expansively to include information that can identify, relate to, describe, be associated with, or be reasonably capable of being associated with a particular consumer or household. Facebook is trying to bank on CCPA's caveat that personal information does not include de-identified or aggregate consumer information. Because of the way the clause is written, Facebook's argument may actually hold water for the simple fact that the company does not sell an individual person's data. But some experts think Facebook's service provider claim is a far stretch. Facebook's claim that they are a service provider is unlikely to be a winner in court, was data privacy attorney James J. Ward's take on the matter. Moreover, because Facebook uses the data it collects for its own purposes, it's hard to argue that it is merely a conduit for data, particularly because it is Facebook's use of the data to provide audience segmentation advice to third parties that creates the very profits that CCPA says are a trigger for the law's application. While consumers may think that Facebook is breaking down their information into specific segments and selling that information, Ward says this is not the case. Facebook never sells its data about an individual user because once that data leaves Facebook's ecosystem, no one will ever have to buy ad space from Facebook for that user again. It's why Facebook's revenues are so high. They are the best source of data on users. In some ways, they're better than Google, but they never give away the golden goose, Ward said. And the same is true for other big tech companies. So with pixels under attack by both CCPA and the EU's upcoming e-privacy regulation, Facebook's business model appears to be at risk. That's why they're desperately trying to find a loophole. Facebook seems to be going out of their way to recharacterize their entire business model in order to avoid the costs that CCPA imposes. But as of right now, Facebook hasn't been able to get around the CCPA's regulations and save its pixel tracking. This recent tweet from February 20th shows how Facebook is already adjusting its marketing platform around these new California privacy laws. Currently, Facebook is unable to allow advertisers to retarget pixel-based California users, which is causing massive drops in spending in campaigns that are heavily reliant on California-based audiences. Does the end of pixel tracking on Facebook mean the end of Facebook advertising as we know it? How can the company shift its business model to prevent further disruptions in ad spending? Let us know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below, and make sure you join our community in the OfferVault official Facebook group. Never miss a new episode by liking our Facebook page and subscribing to our YouTube channel. Feel free to contact us by hitting us up at tips@offervault.com. As always, I'm your host, Eddie Grand, and I'll see you next time.